Against Jackson State. Check that number 4 on Jackson State. So still 3 away from the bonus. Angel Liddell trying to steal. There it is, Rolanda Monroe with her 13th point of the game. She is now the new career points leader in the history of women's basketball at Southern University. 1,641
Would you listen to how smooth it is? Hey, listen to him.
What up, Kris?
I'm about to.
What up, Kris?
'Cause that's what I was born to do.
What up, Kris?
I'm about to.
What up,
'Cause
Kris?
that's what I was born to do.
My name is Lauryn Monroe, and Rolanda Monroe is my baby daughter.
The one they call the left dad. The files what I'm packing, what I'm packing's real bad. I like to grab a hold of your soul.
In her younger days, when she was coming up, she was more of a tomboy.
Very energetic, outgoing, and very boisterous. My name is Charles Monroe, and I'm Rolanda's father.
No, she was not a bad girl. She was very manageable, and even at home and at school. I had no problem with Rolanda at all.
She wasn't bad. She was kind of timid and quiet. If her sister didn't push her into something, you know.
My name is Marsha Monroe, and Rolanda is my sister. Growing up with my sister, we never ever got into an argument. It was great.
And Rolanda is one of the givingest, caring person that I ever seen. You know, when she was coming up, she would always like to care for people. If somebody got hurt, she was always trying to care for them and make sure they was well.
Well, she had a few girlfriends. I know Tierney Johnson was one of her friends, but she mostly played ball with her cousins. You know, her little cousins, little guys that she get with Buster and Krishan, different ones. They all go play ball and
Play ball with boys. Girls was not a competition for Rolanda, so she played with boys.
Every summer, on our off days, that's all she did. Play basketball. We had this thing behind our grandmother's house called the Rec, and she played with whomever, whenever, every day, all day.
When she was probably around about the age of 10 or 11, but that's all she did, play basketball. And she was, they didn't have like junior high basketball then, but when she started playing basketball in the 8th grade, then she took it from the 8th to the 12th grade.
as a child, we went to a water park one time, and it was a good time. And we was, she was walking. I was kept telling her, Rolanda, don't get close to the swimming pool. She was small, and all of a sudden, she jumps in the water thinking she could swim, and oh my God, it's like to touch somebody. I jumped in the water with jeans on and different stuff, and we all laughed about it when it was over with.
The only two friends that she had was Tierney Johnson and Danielle Robinson.
Tierney Johnson and Rolanda's childhood close friend. We have known each other since daycare. Rolanda was a whiny baby. She didn't like to be there at first. When her mom dropped off, she would cry every single day.
When she was smaller, and she did not like daycare, so I had to let her stay with my brother a couple times. And my brother said every time he would put out something, she would be constantly eating.
So one day, I finally got up the nerve to kind of try to stop her from crying and whining, and I gave her my fruit cup. We were friends from then.
My name is Edward Mason Jr., and I am a family friend of Rolanda Monroe and the Monroe family.
In high school, we were very close-knit. We were pretty much clicked up, as we would like to say. We pretty much did everything together. You saw one, you saw the other. As far as Rolanda playing basketball, she was a dynamic standout. We already knew that from the start, even in junior high, that she would go on to do something big as far as college and hopefully the next level as well.
Well, Rolanda, what I remember in high school, she was a fierce competitor, highly competitive, hated to lose.
And from the beginning, let me tell you about when I first started coaching here at Arcadia. I used to see this young girl in the street just dribbling the ball, playing, and all the time. And I wanted to know who was she. And they told me it was Marsha's sister.
Very talented player. I was thinking about it. She may be actually, as far as females, one of the best to come through Arcadia High.
Coach Ruby Kross and Rolanda was one of my basketball players. One of my best basketball players.
Rolanda was one of those players that her mother and her aunt, her sister, all played. Her sister was one of on the first state championship team here at Arcadia High School. Rolanda came along, always loved basketball, but she was what I would like to say a silent assassin.
Well, during her high school time, when Rolanda played ball, she was very competitive, and she didn't like to lose, you know. And then it's a challenge when somebody else comes to her gym and try to, you know, and beat them, because, you know, she just didn't like that. And after she got beat up a couple of times, lost a couple of games, and she started to take it upon herself to dribble, and just practice more during the summer. And she come out that next summer, and she was just aimed and doomed to say she's not going to lose anymore. So I saw that drive in her that she had, and she started playing, and it just kicked off from there.
I knew it when I first saw her, you know, and I saw her in the street because, you know, anytime you saw her, she had a ball in her hand, tossing it, dribbling it, or she was in the park, trying to find a game, pick up on a game. And I knew then that she was very competitive, you know. And when she came into PE in the gym, they wanted to play competition. They wanted to play the ball. They just didn't want to just play, you know, the PE girls. So I would set a court aside for all the ones that wanted to play basketball. And I let them play the ball. So shit, I knew them because she's a competitive team.
Mason, and wow, the relationship to Rolanda, been knowing her entire life. She would not talk a lot unless you poked her. I witnessed one time we played, and it was always funny with BM because she knew the family down there, the Boston family and Bell family. And her and this young lady, she run the Bell one night at Arcadia High School gym, went out both for 45, or I believe both of them had about 50 points, and going back and forth, and it was a sight to see.
We've had some superstars before, and Rolanda's up there. I know you got to count her at least the top 3.
So it was always something that she did, or she crossed somebody over, and that was gonna be the talk of it in the hallways the next day. The boys would roll crossover. You know, she could cross over and with the quickness with it.
Arcadia was at the pinnacle of girls basketball in this area, and every time Arcadia High girls basketball program played, they drew a crowd. They had been coming off of 2 state championships, I believe, and then Rolanda, as we turned it to road show, always brought a crowd, and everybody would love to see them play because of the style of basketball that they play.
JayZ this, JayZ that. JayZ this, JayZ that. JayZ that, JayZ this. Get off JayZ. Give me no money. Tryna get front page articles, y'all mention JayZ name. Sting on JayZ, and JayZ News. Understand what y'all trying to do. I bought the flutes this time though.
I am a forever Grambling Knight, Graham fam, and of course, Rolanda was one of the ones, like I say, she was one of the first superstars come through at Arcadia. So everybody just kind of assumed she would go to Grambling. And then for some reason, unbeknownst to us, she decided upon Southern. And of course, that just renewed the rivalry between Grambling and Southern, knowing we had an Arcadian at Southern. So
that was one of the most disheartening things I heard when I heard it. Her mother worked at Grambling, and we kind of made the assumption that she was going to probably go to Grambling.
It surprised me really because her sister was down there and her mom was down there, and then all of a sudden, because I coach at Southern, but I never do try to encourage them one way or the other. I told them, go where you're going to be comfortable. And so when I found out, I said Southern, I said, hey, I was happy. But yet I was surprised that she had chosen Southern.
I was Rolanda Monroe's head coach, and I recruited Rolanda Monroe to Southern University.
From Arcadia to my heart, Grambling to my heart. anything Arcadia, we want to claim it for Grambling. So, you know, like I said, we were disappointed that she didn't choose Grambling, but at the same time, we were happy for her and that she was going to get the opportunity to play at the next level.
You know, as a freshman, Ro came in, she was with a number of upperclassmen. She was the only freshman that year. And they gaslighted her pretty good. I was trying to basically mold her into the player that I knew she was capable of being the go-to person on that particular team.
Her freshman year was, we had to go down. She cried a lot because she was missing home, which was understanding.
Her freshman year was the first time that we had been separated, that she had been separated from her family. And as I said briefly before, we had already lost one of our childhood friends. So it was a tough situation. We had to talk to her a lot to make sure that she was okay and even healing for ourselves. So I would say her freshman year was one of the hardest years.
And the team that I had, I just remember thinking that these young ladies, this was not a good blending. I just felt like Ro was super talented, and the young ladies that were there, you know, it just didn't mix. It didn't work.
Her freshman year was kind of hard for her, but once they started, basketball season started, then she kind of, you know, got used to being in Baton Rouge away from home.
We weren't successful that year. That was probably one of the worst years I had at Southern.
She didn't take it too good. I mean, because like I said, she don't like losing, and she really being a freshman there and untamed territory. You know, she didn't really know what to expect and know how the big stage was gonna be. And she really thought that they was gonna get it. And then after the loss, it really put something in her, you know, that drive in her that said, I don't want that feeling no more. It's not gonna happen again. So she started more practicing. So she had that drive to say, if my team can't do it, then I'm gonna do it. You know, so she always wanted to be the best that she could be.
One game in particular, she came out the dressing room crying. I don't know what she was crying for. I just went off on the whole team, the team that she was playing against. I cussed everybody out to where the police had to escort us out, only because she came out crying. I didn't know what she was crying for. All I seen was my sister had tears coming in her eyes, and I knew somebody had did something to her, so her big sister had to protect her.
My name is Ashley Blake, and I'm a former teammate and a friend of Rolanda Monroe.
Now tuned into the greatest. Turn the music up in the headphones.
The first time I seen Ro play was when we entered here at Southern University in 2002. We was playing pickup games, and my first impression was like, man, she can go. She's real good, very versatile player.
Amazing what we were able to transition from 2002, 3 to 3, 4. Her sophomore year, Ro really blossomed as a player. Basically, I put the ball in her hands. She was able to play the 1 and the 2.
It did change after that game because, you know, from Sports Illustrated and all kind of other stuff, you know, you start hearing stuff about Rolanda, and I always tell her that when you playing ball and you watching people, they're gonna put people on you. I said, you got to be faster than the person they put in front of you. And she started doing her crossover and all her other stuff and getting her shot and stuff right. So she really did take off after that.
Our daily routine was funny now that you think about it. Ro used to knock on my door at 6 o'clock in the morning so we could go eat breakfast. We ate breakfast every day our freshman year together. Then we would hit the weight room. Once we hit the weight room, we'll go through one-on-one workouts. Then we'll go to class and get some, and after class we'll get some rest, and then we'll be back in the gym.
When I was in Southern, she had my mother's debit card, and she can purchase and do whatever she liked, but me, I couldn't do none of it. She was able to do anything she wanted, spend however much money she wanted, anytime she wanted. So yes, she was spoiled. You know what's so funny? Rolanda, I was going up to Arcadia you know, I always went through Arcadia just to say hello to Coach Balls, and she had said something to me that you need to see my youngsters. I got some really good youngsters. At the time, I was a head coach at Meridian Community College, and the little junior high team is out here, and this little kid shot a ball from the free throw line on one end and made it on the other end. And I was like, whoa, wow, that kid made that shot. I was stunned because, you know, here you have this 11-year-old kid with the arm strength to make that shot, one, and the fact that she made it. And then when she made it, the thing that just really blew me away, she just walked off. She didn't celebrate. She didn't smile. She didn't do anything. It was like, yeah, I do that all the time. You know, so, and I just called her over. I said, hey, baby, where your mom? From that point on, I knew I had to have her on my team.
Woo! Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth.
She was at Southern, I was in grad school. And when Southern came to Grambling, all the boys in my class, all the girls picked at me and we placed bets. But actually, every time my sister came to Grambling, it was like her bad game.
The mother had to sit at those games, wear that blue and gold, I hate to say that, wear those colors and go back to work on Monday. And that was just a tough time.
One of the things I told everybody when she played, I said, when the girls' game was going on, I was a Jaguar. And when the boys' game, I turned back to a Tiger. So it was no problem. Grambling State University, I already knew. When Rolanda Monroe was playing Grambling, I was a Southern Jaguar.
We were down 1 point, and we played Grambling at home. And we had a timeout, and we had to go the length of the court with the ball, and it was like 3.4 seconds. And I called a timeout, came in, drew something up for the team. The horn blew, the team goes out, I pull a roll back to the back, and I said, hey, never mind what I told them, okay? You get the ball, run over somebody. I said, we don't have time. 3.4 seconds is not enough time to come down the court and get a legitimate shot, because I felt like they were impressed. And sure enough, she grabbed it, runs over the kid. The referee calls it. She goes to the free throw line. Coach Ponton's on the other end going crazy. She ran over intentionally. And I said, that's what coaching does, but more importantly, when kids follow instructions, you have a chance to win. Rolanda goes to the free throw line, makes both free throws, ball game, we win.
But it was, when I look back on it, some of the best times of Grambling girls basketball as well, because another young lady, she won in Boston, was at Grambling at that time. And every time Rolanda would come up here to play that game, she would always have a bad game.
Like, I talk so much noise, but it's like when she came to Grambling, she didn't do as much as she did when Grambling came to Southern.
And we would always get the win, but it was always the excitement of the people coming back to see her play. The Grambling, I think, took it personal as well, because those girls, Shawanda had those girls excited about playing against her, and they wanted to win.
So it was just like every year, it was just like a bad game.
Every time she came up in January or February when they played that year, we all looked forward. Her coaches would come back, classmates, friends. We would all pack in the old gym and just have a wonderful time. It'd be just like being with Arcadia, because everybody would get so anxious to see Bug against Rolanda.
It's the whole hometown was excited that she was coming home to play just right up the road. Grambling's like 15 minutes from where we stay. So I'll never forget the day she called me and she said, Coach, I'm going to be a Jaguar. I mean, a great day. And, she came in and did everything. You talk about Rolanda, you talk about a competitor, you talk about a tough kid, you talk about the ultimate teammate. You talk about Rolanda was a captain for 4 years. Leadership. She just embodies all those things. I wish I had 15, just like Rolanda Monroe. Any coach, if you're lucky enough to get you a Rolanda Monroe, you're gonna have a lot of success.
Every home game, we were there. Even some of the games, like maybe 1 or 2 hours away, we were there. And that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that she had that support from her family.
Her mom used to sit on the front row, and it used to be a joke. It was like, well, Ro, your mom can't sit on the front row because those seats are already sold, and she's going to sit up high. And sure enough, Ro would always say, Coach, my mom's going to find a way down to the front row. And sure enough, we'd look up, and her mother would be on the front row, directly across from the bench, coaching.
Jeremy Noah, I ran track at Southern University. Rolanda and myself came in as freshmen together in 2002.
Ooh, there was a Ro show.
Ro show.
Ro the Show Monroe.
Grown ups, in between, churning babies. Right about now, it's your boy, you heard, back again. DJ Manny, fresh. Yeah, fresh.
Ro might hit you with a move, but she might come down court. She had a fast dribble. She get the ball off a rebound, or somebody taking it out, passing it to her. She's coming real quick, and you think she's gonna stop and pull up. She might get all the way to the rim on you. She's like a blur sometimes.
She was definitely put on a show. Scoring, dribbling, driving, defense.
At that time, girls played ball, but Ro could get on the court with anybody.
My name is Anna Jones, and my relationship to Ro, first, I was a booster. Fan club booster when Ro played for Southern University. And then after that, Ro became my office manager here on insurance.
Practices were intense at first. We went hard in practice. Ro was someone that always gave it 110% in practice and made sure she led by example every practice. She stayed on some of us, including myself, when I wanted to lag. But practices were fun and they were intense at times.
Her work ethic. You didn't have to tell her when she came out that locker room. She was over there dribbling, shooting, working on. A lot of them would be playing around, talking or whatever. She came out that locker room and she came out there with basketball practice in mind.
My name is Sierra Shiggs, and Ro was my teammate back in 03, 05, 06, around that time. He was my teammate and my roommate, actually.
She was just amazing all the way around, phenomenal in every aspect. And the other thing I think that made her exceptional was that, just like Michael Jordan and all the greats, she played on both ends of the court. She could have easily have been all defensive player in our league and MVP in the same year.
I think she had that same mentality all around. We were always getting into something, but it was always like a learning experience or something that was fun.
I remember one time me and her was in practice, and me and Ro like to guard each other in practice a lot, just so we can get, the best competition was me and her playing against each other every day. So one time me and her was acting like we was crossing each other over, and she would fall or I would fall, and we caused the whole team to have to run so many suicides.
First time I saw her play, I thought, she wasn't that tall, in my opinion, but that was a young lady out there that just knew how to get it done.
Ro was the ultimate teammate, the ultimate captain. Like I said before, she led by example. We felt very comfortable as her teammate to go in and talk to her. She always had our back. Just a very humble person. Probably one of the best teammates I've ever had.
Phenomenal mid-range jump shooter. Her mid-range is money. She really, her three ball was good, but by the end of her career, I mean, when she got a look, you knew it was going to be good. You know, Rolanda saw double teams every night in our league. We used to run this little high screen offense for a ball screen action for her, a double ball screen action. She was running that to perfection, making the pass, making the right calls, making the right decisions.
That year, Southern University was down. We were losing. And Ro, being the captain of that team, and her drive to win, she took that game on her shoulder. You know, one of Ro's favorite players and my favorite player is Kobe Bryant. And that game, Rolanda Monroe is emotional. But she turned into a Kobe Bryant. She took the game on her shoulder. And they won that game. Because by any means necessary, that day, she knew that Southern University had to have the victory. And she brought it home.
You know, her ability, her hands were so quick in open court to get steals and to read the passing lanes and her own ball defense, you're not going by her. You know, getting the steals in the open court, she was uncanny about that. The ultimate teammate, the ultimate competitor.
I remember us putting up a billboard, you know, out there on I-10.
Was doing a championship game in Birmingham, Alabama, when they was playing against Alcorn State.
She went off against Alcorn in the tournament.
And she played really hard. Even though Southern lost.
I mean, she was on fire, you know. She gave 40, you know, so, you know, the ability, she was just a scorer. The kid could just flat out score the basketball.
When the game was over, somebody came to her and said, wait a minute, do not go into the locker room. And the reason why is because she was the MVP for that game. Most likely they give the MVP to the winning team. But that particular game, Rolanda was the MVP.
You know, talk about, you know, the scoring, but I can't emphasize enough that she was just a complete player. She could pass it, she could handle it, she could defend, and did defend exceptionally well. You know, there were many nights I needed Ro to get 20, and I needed her to guard the best player on the other team. So, and she answered that call every time.
Ro always was a dependable person. She always led by example, very humble and just a hard worker. Definitely great opportunity to be able to be her teammate and just play alongside with her.
Loyal, smart, brilliant, on time, ahead of time, driven. Ro strives for perfection. She gives she gives anyone, everyone, 100%.
Courtney Monroe, I am Rolanda's wife. The first time I saw Ro play basketball, I was a freshman in high school. I went to Southern Lab, so we was just across the street from the Mini Dome. And literally, what I thought was, who does she think she is?
Just a phenomenal player, you know, one of the all-time greats of Southern. You know, I talk about in my time at Southern, you know, I had two great ones, and she was one of them. And I'm definitely, you know, looking forward to, you know, her going into the Hall of Fame. You know, not only at Southern, but for the state of Louisiana, she definitely deserves it.
Her teammate was one of my friends I didn't know what I was walking into. And when I came, like my friends and I, we came to the game in the gym. Everything was about Ro.
Like looking at a superstar, like one of the WNBA players or any kind of professional, it's like everybody, when she got the ball, it's like everybody just everything's good still. And then, like even during her thinking night, everybody in the gym went crazy when Rolanda's name was called. And like they were excited about it, but also sad because she was leaving, you know, and going on, you know, graduating. The Rose Show! The Rose Show!
So, of course, we just like, who is it? Like,
one of my most memorable games, and it was funny because it was her senior game. It was she was a senior, and that was senior night.
My name is Frida Allen Taylor now, and my relationship to Rolanda is she was my coach.
The end, right at the end of the game. I mean, it was like 0.01 seconds left the clock from half court.
The first time I saw Rolanda playing basketball was in my reason during the spring they played against Texas Southern. And she scored the winning shot on the season.
Ro shot that ball, and it was nothing but net.
I was like naming girls like stuff, and then especially when I found out she was from Arcadia, she was 318 girl that really made me special.
The building exploded. Everyone exploded. Her mom, I remember her mom running out on the court. Everyone. I mean, it was so amazing.
And I decided that it was the school that I wanted to go to because of Rolanda.
And then guess what? Whistle blew. It's like, okay, well, what's the problem? Double dribble. We were like, oh no! I asked Ro, I said, Ro, did you really double dribble? She said, yeah, I did.
So I did not actually meet her until about 5 years after that, to where I'm like, I literally have gone from like that freshman in high school to a young adult. And my first impression of her, she was just like, you know, she just played the bench.
And then as our coach, she really was working for her because especially the guards. And as a person, I know she worked with Miss Allen Jones for quite a while, and I know she grew as a businesswoman working there as well.
As a spouse, I would say she's very dedicated. She is loving, she's affectionate, she's loyal, she's supportive.
Actually, it's like seeing a superstar because Coach Q, they talked about her so much every practice, every game, before and after the game. So it was just like seeing a supermodel.
Just seeing her grow, you know, and move from just being a basketball player, a phenomenal player.
Well, I would say, you know, I you know, during her school time, you know, I saw her playing ball and stuff. She had that drive, and when she won her first championship, you know, I was real proud of her because she took her team on her hand, on her shoulders, and she led them to a championship.
Was when she set all the records. She set some records at Southern. I think she still holds those records.
And then after that, you know, she went to school, went to college, and she got her degrees. And I wanted her to get all her degrees. She got all her degrees.
Right now is she owning her own insurance agency because that's something that she's always wanted to do.
The proudest thing of her is that when she called me, she said, Dad, she said, I'm thinking about opening up my own business. Because she always had that drive to do more, to do better. So, and I said, well, Rolanda, if that's what you want to do, I said, hey, you know, we with you, we gonna support you, whatever, you know. And when she called me and told me that she was opening up her own business, it just it lifted me up, and I was just so proud of her. And even to this day, I am really proud of her because she's established herself. You know, she opened up her own business and different stuff. So, I mean, I can't be any more of a prouder dad than I am now.
That was one of the things that she strived to do, and she was successful in doing it.
My proudest moments are her ability to do things and conduct herself on the court and the court.
The fact that she's humble and her leadership skills, she just, all her actions speak for themselves, and she's a dependable person. Every time I needed her to support me in any way, my family, she's always been that shoulder to lean on, and so she's just an awesome teammate and friend.
Hey, she had a tremendous career at Southern. When we were, like I said, even though we wasn't Grambling, we were extremely proud of the career she had at Southern. And now, with her own business, we couldn't be more elated about her opening her own insurance, her own business, and we're trying to get her some business, and we hope nothing but success for her.
She's literally everything. So she's somebody who I know I can count on, depend on, rely on, who just will be there for me, be it good, be it bad. So she's everything.
Ro has finally grown into herself. She has learned to stand on her own 2 feet. Don't worry about the thoughts and the feelings of any others. She has created her own personal family outside of the immediate family that she's always known. And she just blossomed into her own woman.
You know, Ro never, changed. She never changed on anybody. She still supports the alumni. She gives back. She's always supportive at the games. And she's been a part of the coaching staff before, and she's also just someone that's always been supportive with anything that any of us needed. If we called her in the middle of the night, Ro's the type of person that'll pick up the phone and just have our backs no matter what.
Her ability to plan and execute, I think that is a strong trait in Ro and just leaders, period. But definitely in Ro, I think when she sets her mind to something, that she's gonna see it through and it's gonna get done.
She is a professional. She's truly a professional. From basically from a child, shall I say, because her freshman year to me, she was like a child. And she has just evolved into that woman that I am so proud of.
I love to be able to say that you had to come to Arcadia, North Louisiana, to get somebody to kind of help put Southern on the map as far as girls basketball, because she will forever be in the annals and the history books of Southern University, but we can always say that that's an Arcadia product, so you had to come up here to get something to help you.
I just think I'm so proud of her character. It's just.
Okay, how many people in here have ever been in love? I know that
I'm just proud and of everything. The businesswoman that she is, before she opened her own agency, the leader that she is, just how committed, how loyal. She's just literally the total package.
You know, I always knew Ro was going to be great at whatever she set her mind to, because she was just a disciplined kid like that. But seeing her now, her family, beautiful family, and her owning her own business, and her growth and her development, she has just done some amazing things, and she's not done yet. She's got a whole lot more amazing things to do. And, a lot of times when I go in and I talk to student athletes about, where basketball can take you from an HBCU, she's definitely a role model, and she definitely exemplifies just the success that you can have if you put your mind to it and you're determined.
It's not funny.